Synopsis of the Books of the Bible. Minor Prophets. By JND Darby. Hosea. Chapter 14. Israel's joyful acknowledgement of iniquity, refuge, consciousness of blessing. Hosea 14. It is this last work that we find in chapter 14 of the prophet. Israel, returning to Jehovah, acknowledges his iniquity, and addresses himself to the grace of his God. Thus only could he render him acceptable worship. His heart, instructed now and cleansed, refuses the help of Allah, whom he had sought in his unbelief. When he rejected his God who searched his ways, he will no longer lean upon an arm of flesh, nor on carnal strength, and he casts off the false gods to whom he had bowed the knee. His refuge should be with him in whom the fatherless find mercy. God, therefore, who only waited for the return of his people, a return which he had wrought in their hearts by his grace, when the chastisement, necessary to his moral glory, and to the good of the people, was ended, God himself would heal their backsliding, he would love them freely. His anger was turned away from his people. His blessing and grace should be as the dew unto them. Divine fertility and beauty should again be seen in Israel, his people. Verse 8 I would read thus, Ephraim shall say, what have I to do with idols? Jehovah says, I have heard him and observed him. Then Ephraim, I am like a green fir tree. And Jehovah answers, from me is thy fruit found. There is repentance, which Jehovah acknowledges, and the joyful consciousness of blessing, which God causes to be felt, proceeds from himself, who both secures and augments it. The last verse teaches us that which we have already endeavored to point out, namely, that this history makes known the ways of God, which the wise, divinely taught in heart, will readily understand. For the ways of Jehovah are right. His path of action is straight onwards, however great his mercy may be. The just, sustained and helped by the strength of God, can walk there, but the transgressors, through the very power that is present, shall fall therein. There is indeed no prophet who gives the dealings of God, as a whole, so completely as Hosea.